we're in a tough time. We're obviously in a tough time. And it's the fear is heightened, and rightfully so. And while the fear, there's a validity to the fear, meaning that there's a cause to be concerned. We want to be mindful of the place from which we take action. So it is imperative that we take action. There is a shortage of protective gear for our dogs, and we do want to observe social distancing and limit non-essential travel. That's just what we need to be doing. And what's the space from which we're taking all this action? If we're taking it from the space of panic, then we have to understand that, and some of you may or may not know this about me, but I also am a master practitioner of hypnosis and neurolinguistic programming, which means that I study linguistics and the impact of the mind-body connection. And so when we're looking at the mind-body connection and how fear impacts the body, that fear creates the cortisol spike, the fight or flight response, and the negative feedback loop in the brain. And when we're constantly in that negative feedback loop, that fear response, that fight or flight response, we're actually disconnected from higher brain function. So if you think about when you're about to be attacked by a lion, that fear response has your body shunt everything to the vital organs. And you know this, right? To the vital organs and really away from the brain, which makes sense because if you're about to be attacked by a lion, you don't need to think about it. You need to run. But when we are in this heightened fear and panic about what's going on, we are disconnected from our higher brain function, which means we are disconnected from potential workarounds and solutions that could actually help us to evolve through this crisis. And so I just, at this point in time, want to have people be reminded of what they can be doing to reconnect to this, their higher brain function when they're in that space of fear and panic. I'm going to say something that's very cliche, but that there's science behind. And that is to step back and to really take a moment to breathe. And that has been proven to connect you back to your higher brain function. Now, I know that in this space of fear and panic, that might seem like, well, what the hell are you talking about? Step back and breathe. Mindfulness has nothing to do with this, but it does. Because when you take a step back and you actually take a moment to assess and take a deep breath. And docs, you know this, you can see things that you might not have been able to see before. So one of the things that I'm seeing in my community, I'm in a group of physicians that actually has a very progressive conversation going on of physicians helping each other get through this crisis and creating various solutions and workarounds. And I think that's because, number one, we're in a community supporting each other. And that needs to be happening around the world. I see a lot of posts from people who are, now schools are closed down. People are homeschooling their children. Here are some links to help you homeschool your kids. Here are some things that you can, ways that you can create social connection without the proximity. There's conversation like that going on. So when you take a step back and you take a breath and you know that things are going to be okay, then you can start to connect to that higher brain function that allows you to see the workarounds that are possible. Okay, so just as we move forward, because we know that this is something that is not going to be solved in the immediate future, and we don't know what's to come. We're in the unknown, right? And when we stay focused on a solution from the space of that knowing that it will get resolved, and not from the space of fear and panic, then we create those more immediate results, and we actually get through it quicker. So with that said, if you have any comments, any questions, I am here and I'm open to receive those questions. I will continue to monitor any comments or questions after the streaming is over. We want to, in general, be mindful of how we take our action, not solely from the space of fear, but taking our action from the space of knowing that this is what we need to do to move forward and get through. So be flexible, be adaptable, be hopeful, be in the space of knowing, and know that your voice matters. Okay? And that's what I have to bring to you today. Hope that you found it helpful. Leave your comments, leave your takeaways, leave your takeaways in the comments, leave any experience, any questions, any empowerment that you have in the comments. And I look forward to bringing more empowerment as we move through this space. You all have a great rest of the day and a great rest of the week. Namaste.